Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes of Freedom, brought to you by Archangel Outreach Ministries. So very thankful. We're back in the state of Missouri. Have finished up the trip to Texas, and what a wonderful trip it was. Had a great time. Had a wonderful experience with speaking at many different Celebrate Recoveries. Cowboys for Jesus in Fisher, Texas, and also at the Fredericksburg High School. What a wonderful week I got to spend with my mom and my brand new wife, Kira. Had a wonderful time visiting family and things like that. And I want to apologize for the viewers of 5 Minutes of Freedom where I was not keeping up with it as well as I should have. I'm back. I'm home. We'll get more on a consistent basis. I promise you that. I know there are people that look forward to watching this, and we'll get it back on a regular basis, okay? So I apologize. Please forgive me. But I do want to say thank you for watching 5 Minutes of Freedom, brought to you by Archangel Outreach Ministries. You can check us out online at archangeloutreach.org, or you can go to Facebook or YouTube. If you go to Facebook, just search 5 Minutes of Freedom. Excuse me, I said that wrong. If you go to Facebook, search Archangel Outreach Ministries, you'll be able to find us there. If you want to go to YouTube, search 5 Minutes of Freedom, F-I-V-E Minutes of Freedom. You'll be able to find all the airings of this show. And we would love to hear from you. Send us a message on Facebook or YouTube so we know how you're doing, what's going on, and how we can further assist you. You know what? It's a great opportunity to be able to share and do this show for you that are listening. Excuse me. This morning, Sunday morning, I hope everybody's getting ready to, or already has been to church. It's a great day. It's a little cool, a little bit overcast today, but you know what? It's a great day to walk inside and have your spirit just fulfilled, have it filled up with the fellow believers that you'll be around at church today. But you know, there are things that we're going to talk about today at the Healing Place Worship Center. My first Sunday back in a couple weeks. Very excited about preaching this morning down in Forsyth. We're going to be talking about patience today. Patience. You know, it says that we can determine the direction of our heart. It says a human can determine its direction, but God will determine the steps of that direction. You know, so in patience, you know, and every time I talk about patience, people always say, well, I'll just sit back and wait on the Lord. Well, I have a real issue with that as far as patience go. You can't just sit back and wait on the Lord. It also says in scriptures, if you want what you are, well, let me say it like this. You can ask for what your heart desires and God will give it to you. But here's the thing. You can't just sit back and expect it to be hand delivered to you. There are things that I've come up with this phrase over the last week. You have to be patiently persistent. Now, Joe, what does that mean? That sounds like controlled chaos. Well, patiently persistent in my mind means that we have to. One of the things that I think would be great is to journal. Write things down what you want. And when you write those things down, write out a plan of action of what's going on and how you would like to achieve it. You set that into motion. God determines the direction of that motion, and you're able to achieve the things that you want. But you have to be patient on that direction God leads you in. That's the thing. Much like, I think the story of Jonah is a wonderful example of patience. The scripture that I want to share with you more comes out of Jonah chapter 1, and it says this, 1:5, and I'm going to go through 6, I think. It says this, fearing for their lives, the desperate sailors shouted to their gods for help and threw the cargo overboard to lighten the ship. And all the time Jonah was sound asleep down in the hold. So the captain went down after him. How can you sleep at a time like this? He shouted, get up and pray to your God. Maybe he will have mercy on us and spare our lives. You know, I think about, you know, people say, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. But yet they're always sleeping and not going after or putting that motivation into what they want to achieve, expecting a silver platter to be delivered to their doorstep and say, hey, looky here, here's all your hopes and dreams, and they've been answered. It doesn't work that way. You know, in my opinion, and reading the scripture, you know, a lot of us act like Jonah. God has called us, we know what we want and things like that, but we run And we're so scared that we just go to sleep in the situation. And sleep is one of those things that is a reaction of our body of being depressed or not doing the things that we should, or denial, if you will. So today, look at what you're doing. Are you sleeping too much? Are you running from your problems? Do you want things and you don't know why they're not coming true? Well, put some motivation behind what you want. And be patient that the Lord directs your path. And one of the other great things that I think we should do is write down what we're wanting to experience or go through, and write down a plan of action so you can see how it progresses. It's a great idea. The thing is are you going to try it, or just going to keep accepting what you've always got? It's a great question. Think about it today. God bless you. Glad to be back in Missouri. This is 5 Minutes of Freedom, brought to you by Archangel Outreach Ministries. God bless you and have a great Sunday.